Hello, hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another video. We're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen again, chapter 185, Bye-Bye. If we're talking about the last chapter, basically we have Panda encountering Kashimo, and Kashio being an absolute goon, the lightning buffoon, and obliterating him. Just making him look real sad. We see Panda's sister core finally, and we find out what it is. It's Triceratops. So I was wrong about my whole bug thing, but well, that kind of doesn't matter because it got obliterated by the end of the chapter. And so coming into this chapter, where we left off was Kashimo was like, "Hey, where's Sukuna at?" And there we go. So most of the chapter actually is a bit of, I wouldn't say a flashback, maybe like an allegory kind of story thing that we have going on. Alright, I'll explain the events as they come, because it's kind of tough to explain because you could really see it two ways. Either this is important or it's not important. But it's a chapter, so just follow me here. Alright, so basically we have Panda and his siblings. We have older sister, Tri. I don't think we actually get her name, but we're just called Tri. We have older brother, Gory. We actually do get his name. And then Panda. And basically, chapter starts, and basically, Panda's getting bullied by his older brother. And basically, I guess, yeah, his brother's basically just punching him a bunch. And Panda's weaker than his older brother. So he's crying about it, and his sister comes in, and she's like, "Big bro, you gotta chill out." And he's like, And so basically, he basically facilitates like, switch the things around. Like he's Gory's punching Panda, so he's like, okay, well, if you guys are just playing a game, flip it around. And so Panda goes in he's like, okay, I got this, I got the hands, and then Gory just hits him with the clock right to the face. I'm just like, dang, Gory got no chill. He's just violent, right? And so we cut away from there, and at some other time, maybe it's later that day, maybe it's another day entirely, who knows, but basically Panda's trying to keep up with his brother and his friends, and they're going somewhere or whatever, right? And Panda wants to come, but basically Gory and his friends are like, nah, this has not been for you. And so then Gory's friends basically convince Panda to throw away some ball that he cares about into the river, so that he can come with them. Alright, mind you, Gory's not saying anything. He doesn't tell Panda to do nothing. He doesn't tell him not to do anything. He doesn't tell him to do anything. And basically, Panda throws the ball in the water, and then the two friends of Gory, also mind you, those are also animals. I thought that was important to point out. Everybody here is animals. Everybody's animals, whatnot. But anyway, so he throws the ball in the water, and immediately they're like, oh, well, this is basically they're saying like this littering is bad and you guys tell police. I'm like, dang, these people are fake as hell. Cannot imagine this type of life. And basically then after that, Gory's basically like, why would you throw your precious ball into the water? It's dumb. And it's just like, dang, no love for Panda apparently. It's rough being him. He's crying and stuff. And so then I guess it's the evening, I guess the same day, basically Tri and Gory are having a conversation, and they're kind of going back and forth. It's kind of like a sibling talk or whatever. And basically Tri's like, hey, we gotta treat Panda better, you know? You're always so mean to him. And then Gory's basically like, nah. He's like, Panda's a wimp. And whenever I stick with Panda, it's just not a good time. You know, it's just, having Panda around is just a waste. And then he's also saying like, oh, he's soft and whatnot, and that, like, you know, his sister protects him, right? But then Tri basically flips it on its head. Well, not on its head, but she kind of flips it around on him, and she's like, well, actually, she would say that he's the one taking advantage of Panda rather than Panda taking advantage of her, because Panda basically always forgives Gory and always goes along with Gory and is always nice to him and whatnot. So it's kind of like, you know, you're kind of taking advantage of his kindness to allow you to kind of like unabashedly be like, you know, whatever you want at any given time, rather than her, you know, being enabling his weakness, so to say. And basically, after like the end of that little convo, well, towards the end of that convo, Panda busts in. He's basically like showing the beetle to Gory. I guess he opts to be a little bit nicer, and so in the middle of the night, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna put together all this money and I'll buy Panda a new ball. You know, I'm just like, dang, that's kind. But anyway, time for the sad part. Also, I didn't mention this, but this chapter is actually pretty sad. Like, it almost got me. Doctors can't cry, you know, you gotta be focused, strong on the job. But it was tickling the little tear ducts. I was like, dang, I didn't realize it was gonna go that hard. But basically, some weird, well, I've heard people call it a balloon, but something that's basically their dad, Gory and Try's dad. They're being taken by their dad. Their dad's basically like, well, you guys are leaving Panda behind. And Gory's like, why are we leaving? And Dad's like, bro, not really a reason, to be honest. And Gory's like, for how long? He's like, you're never coming back. And we got Panda running out in the middle of the night. He's like, dang, my brother and sister are gone. And he's crying. He's asking where they're at. And then Gory's like, dang, I need to get back to my brother. He's weak and he's a wimp. He'll never survive on his own. We need to go back. And basically, the dad balloon thing kind of like elaborates. He's like, well, technically we're not leaving him behind. It's kind of the opposite way, where Panda's leaving us behind. Gory doesn't kind of get it, but he's basically like, you know, he's just really sad about it. He's basically talking about how he's gonna buy him a balloon soon, whatever. And then we see a whale. I don't know if that's supposed to be like their mother, possibly. But then we see Gory and Panda crying, and like I said, that hit a little bit. And then cut back to reality, and we got Panda just torn to pieces, just a head on the floor, bloody, gross, sad. And Kashimo's basically just like, dang, ain't he dead? I sworn I like beheaded him. I think he died then. And so seeing that Panda's not dead yet, Kashimo's like, bro, where's Sukuna at? And Panda's like, basically says, I'll never tell. It just ain't gonna happen. And Kashimo's just like, welp, I guess you're gonna die then. And then right before Kashimo lays down the last hit, Hakuri shows up. Man's coming out of the sky like a missile on that Naruto, what's it called? I forgot what the name of the form is called. But basically, like in the anime, most recent form, the cool one, whatever, combination 9-tail fox thing, flies through the sky thing. Yeah, like that. He lands on the floor, it looks like that. Some cool stuff. And basically, Akari kind of like makes a pseudo joke. He's like, bro, Panda, do you lose weight? And Panda's just like, hey, my man's here. And Kashimo's like, don't get me excited like that. I'm like, hey, yo. And that's the end of the chapter. Kind of, if you want to say like continuity-wise, it's a short chapter, but I mean, we got a lot of other stuff going on. And okay, so here's my theory on what goes on in the beginning of the chapter. I think it's like a pseudo allegory. It basically represents like the relationship between Panda and his siblings. Now, it was never confirmed whether his siblings literally have personalities. I mean, obviously he refers to them as people, but it's possible that this kind of represents like each core literally was one of his siblings, like as like maybe he had like some type of like ability to like conversate between the cores, and so like these were like, you know, kind of like a representation of the relationship he had with them or something. Either way, the only part that really like genuinely matters is the very last section where the dad's taking them away, where we can only assume the principal, can't remember his name, but the principal who made Panda is basically like, you know, he's dead. We already know he's dead. And so he's taking away Gorilla and Try because they are now dead. because we think the cores are in Panda's body. And as we saw at the end of the chapter, most of his body's gone. So we can only assume that the only part left is that part of his core, the Panda core. And so with them being dead, they're now joining the principal in death. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. It just means they're dead. I mean, now, well, oh, and also, there's a whale. We don't know what the whale represents necessarily, but I want to say maybe it's a mother, but I don't know. But that's pretty much it for like that part. Really, it's just a whole bunch of stuff to kind of like set the scene for Panda has lost his cores. He's all on his own now, and in that sense, he doesn't. It's just Panda core now. And for Panda going forward, we would hope this means maybe he might get like a boost in power of some form because of the fact that he no longer has the other two cores. Because otherwise, I mean, we say he couldn't be Kashimo. At this point, he's going to become significantly weaker at this point if he doesn't get anything out of this. So, I mean, I don't even know. So even if he gets out of the situation alive, assuming Akari is able to beat Kashimo, I mean, yeah. And we can definitely expect that then the next chapter, we are going to get quite the fight. Akari versus Kashimo. The Sukuna level candidate, and the gambling man himself. It's gonna get real crazy. That is for sure. And that's about it for the chapter. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked the video, leave a dislike. If you have a comment on the situation, what do you think of Panda's little pseudo backstory allegory thing? Do you think Panda's gonna get a power boost after this chapter, or do you think he's just gonna become really, really weak? Who do you think will win, Kashimo versus Hikari? I would like to say my money's on Hikari because his ability, specifically his domain expansion, seems like it could be pretty broken. And based on like the amount of cursed energy he has flowing around him right now, he's already boosted. So theoretically, if he's able to open another domain, shit can get real wild. But then again, we haven't seen Kashimo go crazy yet. So we don't even know if he has a domain. So there's really a lot that can go into like this next fight. But with that all being said, if you liked the video, like the channel, like my voice, and like who I am, what I represent, drop a subscription. I don't think it needs to be that deep. I feel like I said a lot of words. But if you think I'm cool, throw a subscription. With that all being said, thank you again for watching the video, and the dog is out. Peace.